Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. The Vikings moved to 12-2, tied for the best record in the NFC with the Detroit Lions. Going to be very, very interesting. The Lions beat them early in the year. The Vikings traveled to Detroit. The injuries are starting to mount. They had 13 players already on the defensive side of football, already on IR. 2 more go on IR. McNeil, the great defensive tackle they got, Carlton Davis III, he's currently on IR now. So now that makes it 15. The injuries are starting to mount, so that's going to be a very interesting game. And if I'm not mistaken, they played the last game of the season. But the Vikings beat the Bears and moved 30-12. Moved to 12-2 within striking distance of the Detroit Lions. And remember, like I said, Detroit kicked the field goal early in the year to beat the Minnesota in Minnesota. Total yards, the Bears had 283. The Vikings had 329. Total rush yards, Bears was 112. Vikings was 114. Caleb Williams was 18 of 31, 191, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. And Sam Darnold was 24 of 42, 31, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Like I said, guys, Ocho is having some technical difficulties, but we wanted to get this thing on the road. But when you watch this game, Minnesota looks really good. And I think because Detroit has played so well for such a long time, people have kind of put Minnesota, kind of put Green Bay kind of on the back burner. But if you watch them throughout the entirety of the season, they're a very good team. They bring a lot of pressure. They can get to your quarterback. Green Bay, we saw Green Bay last night against Seattle, and Seattle had been playing really well. But I think those are 2 teams, clearly all 3 teams in the NFC North. There are 4 teams, but the Bears are not going anywhere, not with that record. They're 4-10 with 3 games remaining. So the best they could do is 7-10. But Minnesota 12-2, Detroit 12-2. I think the Packers are 10-4. So those 3 teams are going to have a very, very strong presence in the playoffs. But I like what I saw from Minnesota. The Bears have got to do a better job of starting. They just start entirely too slow. They're giving teams 10, 13, 17-point leads, and then they try to work their way back late in the ball game. And they're not a good enough football team to overcome those slow starts. So they're going to have to do a better job. I don't know if it's scripting plays. I don't know what's going on. But if you look at them, they've done a very poor job of starting ball games. And when you start ball games like that, and when you start with a rookie quarterback and you're not and your talent, I mean, they have some skill position players. Offensive line is not the greatest, but I do think Caleb Williams holds on to the ball entirely too long. There's some plays that he had that were made. He had Roma Dunze right over the middle, and he went away from him. And I don't know why he would do something like that, because clearly he's not comfortable just yet of making the right decisions and letting the football go on cue and on rhythm. And so he's going to have to get better on that, but give him some time. He is a rookie. There's a big difference between it being a rookie quarterback and being a vet in college. Obviously he can make plays off script in college, but those don't happen very often in the NFL, and you're not trying to make a living making plays like that. But Minnesota looked really good. And and with the injuries that Detroit is having, they're vulnerable. They're very, very vulnerable. I think Philly is 12-2 also, right? They've only lost 2 games. Yeah, Philly is 12-2 also. And so when you look at that, you got Minnesota at 12-2, you got Detroit at 12-2, you got the Eagles at 12-2. And if you put some money down, that matters to you, who I think the best team in the NFC is, I would say the Eagles, based on their defense at that front line. And as much as, been speculation about happy, who's not happy, seemingly bickering on the sidelines every single week. I still, based on what I've seen from the Eagles, based on what I've seen from Detroit, now the injuries start to mount and their defense is compromised. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. I think Minnesota is going to be, I think Minnesota going to give Detroit all they can handle. And at the end of the day, it comes down to, it's not who's playing, who's healthiest. Who's the healthiest team and who's playing the best. But it's Minnesota had to be pleased with what they did tonight. They beat a division rival. It's very tough to beat division rivals. Chicago, Minnesota, there's no love lost, but Minnesota dominated this ball game. And you saw that in the score. You saw that everywhere. They just did a great job of handling their business and taking care of business. And that's what you expect of a team that's 12-2. You good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, we got the ultimate premium internet.
This game, the Minnesota and Chicago. Minnesota wins the game 30-12. Minnesota moves to 12-2, tied with Detroit and Philly with the best record in the NFC. Chicago falls to 4-10. Minnesota wins 30-12. What do you like about what you saw?
Listen, tonight's game, Minnesota obviously looked very good. Very good. What Sam Darnold's been able to do, for the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy going out, being able to, most of the time, when you think about backup quarterbacks, your backup, he's a backup for a reason. For him to come in and make them almost a Super Bowl contender, only losing 2 games this season, he's been very good offensively. He's really played himself into another big deal. I'm not talking $50 million quarterback type money. I'm talking about, your Baker Mayfield, 3 for 40, something like that. And he's giving them a chance. And there's a good chance he does come back. He does come back there on something small based on what they've seen, the small sample size and what they've seen this year. He's played very well. And again tonight, he's done the same thing. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, I can't think of the tight end's last name.
Hawkinson.
PJ looking good. And it just look good. Goddamn, on the other end of the spectrum, Caleb Williams, I don't know if it's the play calling. He has all the weapons. He has all the weapons he needs to succeed. I don't know if it's the play calling or not, but maybe his decision making, getting the ball out a little faster. I mean, the offensive coordinator would basically know Caleb Williams' strengths and his weaknesses. I'm not sure if the play calling is to Caleb Williams' best strengths. He does need to start fast, like you said earlier. Just they're not good enough to be able to play from behind. So they need to do all the things right, possibly that they can in the beginning to at least compete with other teams because they're not that bad.
No, they're bad.
No. They're not that bad because obviously every team is a quarterback away. You look what Jaden Daniels has done for the Commanders. You look what Sam Darnold has done when he has the right supporting cast around him, outside of when he was with New York, outside of when he was with Carolina, and look what he's done in Minnesota. I think for Caleb Williams, it's the same thing because you have the right supporting cast around you to be able to succeed. There's just something missing. Maybe as a rookie, maybe being a rookie, your decision-making isn't what it should be. Maybe it's the play calling. It's just something that's off because you have the pieces around you to be able to succeed, and it's just not happening the way it should be. Now, I don't know what it can be, but there's a reason he was a number 1 pick. There's a reason. He's good. He's a really good quarterback. Based on what we've seen so far, just in NFL, as a rookie, it hasn't been what it should be. And it shouldn't be like that as good as he is.
I just think it's pre-snap. He just got to get a better job of pre-snap. He's got to do a better job of processing and letting the football go. Like I say, there were situations that he had receivers open, and for whatever reason, his eyes went elsewhere. That's not play calling. If I call a play and I got a guy open, if your number 1 receiver, your number 1 read is open, I don't know why you would go to 2 without giving 1 a chance. And there were plays like that tonight. There were plays that'll be had. And sometimes I think he likes playing. I think one of his strengths is that he's very good at improvisation. Yeah. He's very good at playing off script. Yeah. But that's not how you want to try to make a living. Now, it's nice to have that in your back pocket. You see guys like a Lamar, you see guys like a Mahomes, you see guys like a Josh Allen be able to make plays off script. But that's not how you want to live. You want to be able to go through process information very rapidly. 1, 2, 3, check it down, throw it away. That's how you have to do it. That's the only way to be successful. You're not going to make a living in this league continuously making plays off script. It's just too difficult for you to do. And so at some point in time, maybe it's play calling, but we see a situation when they fall behind. But I know what happens when you fall behind. You can throw caution to the wind. Go. It's easier for you to play free because you're already behind by 21 points. So who cares if you fall behind by 28, 31, or whatever the case may be? But at some point in time, they're going to have to do a better job of starting because they do not have the team that's well enough, that's equipped to overcome 14, 17-point
Right.
deficit. And so that's it in of itself. Give yourself a chance. And we saw them against Detroit. They started terrible, and then they got going right there in the end, and Detroit ended up winning the ball game. So we've seen them play well, falling behind. But I just don't think that's a great way to try to win football games, Ocho, is to try to continually fall behind and then ask your rookie quarterback to try to now make plays to win you the ball.
But maybe
game.
that's the issue. You said it right. As a coordinator, obviously when you fall behind, you said it, you throw caution to win and you just play freely. You go off goddamn script and you run what you think is going to work and what you need for one to score touchdowns and to get yards and chunk plays. Maybe you should start the game like that. The same way you do and pretend as if, you know what, we're down right now. Hell, fuck it. We throwing caution to win. We're losing, so I'm going to call the game as such and allow Caleb to do what he does best, as you said, playing off script, which he shouldn't do. Obviously, you as a quarterback, you want to be able to run a normal offense, be able to go through your progression, be able to go through your reads, and make sure your anticipatory skills are what they should be in being able to facilitate the ball through that progression. And maybe that's just not his strength right now. So why not just play to his strength? And maybe that's why they look so good coming back against Detroit.
So what's his strength?
Playing off script. Being able to just
you can't call play. Ocho, you can't call plays. You can't call you call a play. The play is not meant to be when you call a play, most plays are meant to do certain things. You can't say, okay, well, this play gonna break down and just go off script. That's intuition.
I know what you meant. I mean, going off script, let's say, I'm not sure if y'all did this. First 15 plays of the game is scripted. Yeah,
it's scripted. Yes.
I'm just saying, call it a little bit more freely as opposed to how you would do if it was the beginning of a game. That's all. Now, I personally don't know what that looks like for them. I just know, hell, when you got them behind, the play calling is much different as opposed to whatever your normal tendencies would be on a first down, second down, third down, whatever it may be. I'm just saying, because they look completely different when they fucking down.
But you also got to factor in the defense plays you different when they got a 21-point or 17-point lead. So they'll give you stuff. They'll let you nickel and dime your way down the field. So I have to call the game accordingly because I don't know. I'm basing off when I call the first 15. That's the one thing I know. What we've seen on film study is that more times than not, they're going to give us these defenses. Now, once we get past those first 15, we've got to play football. They're going to settle in. We're going to settle in. And now we go play. Now, once I get a big lead, all I'm telling my guys, nothing cheap, nothing deep. I'm not going to nickel your way down the field. We're not going to give you big chunk plays. And so now all of a sudden, the 10-yarder, the 5-yarder, the 8-yard routes, they're available because nobody wants the guys to get behind them. They have, when you script the first, how do you F up the first 15? Bro, you've been practicing these plays all week. You come in on Friday, you have a good idea what you're going to do. You walk through them on Saturday. I'm trying to figure out how, bro, y'all got to do a better job than that. Y'all got to. But Minnesota 12-2 in the wild card position because they happen to be in the same division as Detroit, and Detroit owns the tiebreaker because they've beaten Minnesota head to head. That could change moving forward. It could easily be Minnesota be the number one seed. It could easily be the Eagles have the number one seed. But I just don't know how the Lions, with all these injuries that's starting to mount on the defensive side of the football, I don't know how they hold on to that number one seed. If they do, given the injuries that they're dealing with, man, you got to go ahead and give Dan Campbell the coach of the year.
Well, I was thinking about it. I'm thinking about those that are free that can come in and help right away and play right now. Carlton Davis is out, broken jaw, right? If I'm not mistaken, broken jaw. I'm thinking Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard is out there right now. I think that's someone that can come in and fill that spot. Very, 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 very.
Is he in shape?
He's been working out. You know he's been working out. Now I don't know personally. I'm just saying based on what I've seen from him and his agent that they put out, in him being available and wanting to come in. I think he might have had a tryout, maybe one or two, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just saying being able to fill the hole so the Detroit Lions could make that run, that playoff run on somebody. Listen, the Lions love playing man to man. what does Xavier Howard do very well? You know,
well, not playing man-to-man the last couple of years. That's not what he's been doing well.
Come on, don't do that. Come on, no.
You say what does he do well? Not playing man-to-man. That's not what he's been doing well.
But stall him out, Debo.
But you know what, Ocho, that I hate? When you see guys like Howard that's been a Pro Bowl player, that's been an all-pro player, now they got to send out memos and smoke screens to try to get back into the league. I tell guys all the time, Ocho, it's easier to get in the league and stay than get in the league, get out and try to get back in. So once you're in, Ocho, it's easy to get in the club. But what they say, and when you go to a sporting event, if you leave the arena, there will be no more re-entry. So that's what I'm trying to tell these players, Ocho, and they don't want to listen. It's easier to get into the league and stay as opposed to getting in, getting out, and try to get back in. Because now people start to look, okay, so what happened? Why is he not in the league? And so, look, there's some issues off the field. Hopefully he got those resolved. So that if the guy can play, I'm sure Detroit is going to kick the tires again, Ocho. I don't know if he had a trial with them. Like I said, I haven't been following that closely. I'm sure they're going to kick the tires again. Maybe they have guys on the practice squad that they elevate.
No. Come on now. We know we talk about practice squad and we talk about players that have the experience to be able to play position. So Aaron Glenn can do some of the things that he wants to do. We don't have to change much. And how do you do that? By going out and getting a veteran that's been good at what they do, whether it looks like it did 5 years ago or not. You have someone that's familiar with defense, that's familiar with covering, especially man-to-man, which Aaron Glenn and those boys like to do, and that has a lot of interceptions. And it will always have himself in position to make those plays as you make this run. And then, hell, you got fresh legs. You know, you have no wear and tear, so you get the best version of that individual or whatever they have left in the tank. And I think it would be a good look. As far as the second level is concerned, I don't really know about linebackers. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know about linebackers and what their availability may be as far as somebody coming off the street or somebody that's played the game for a while. And I don't know about defensive end. But I can speak to the skill position in DBs.
You got what you got now, Ocho. And the thing is that what concerns me is that catching up with the speed of the game. Because that's a different mentality when you're on that edge. Now you on Rikers Island. and the Sharks. Because all I know is if I was playing and I see a guy and he been out of the league for 13, 14 weeks and he just coming back, I'm gonna cook his ass. There ain't no ifs and buts about it. I don't care what you were. I just know you're not walking back in being that same player. Now you might build back up and become some resemblance of that, but I know your first couple of games back, you ain't gonna be him. And because guess what happens, Ocho? When you start working like that, soft tissue.
Oh yeah.
Because you and I both know he ain't been backpedaling, planting, start cutting, turning, twisting, and running like this, like he gonna be in the game. And because practice, you're going to be sore after those first couple of practices. You know how sore you are. Think about how hard you work out in the offseason. You take your black ass to practice those training camp. Those first
different. Was it different by the time you hit that day 3? It's different.
Still play. Ain't no being. You walking like Frankenstein. ain't no big. Ain't no flexion. Ain't none of that. Everything hurt. You get out of bed, your ankles hurt, your hips hurt, your knees hurt. Because all that starting, plant, cutting, transitioning, man. But I would look, what do you got to lose? I mean, you got guys going down, but the problem they got is because a lot of it, they got interior guys. They got linebackers going down. They ain't just got a specific position. They're going down. They're dropping like flies at all positions. D-line, linebackers, and secondary. And at some point in time, and as I was saying today on First Take, at some point in time, the man that's next to the man that's next to the man ain't enough. It just isn't.
Listen, one of the most important things for teams going into the back half of the season and into the playoffs, it ain't having the best team. It's about how many players you have healthy when that time comes.
The healthiest team.
The healthiest. And everybody hurt, huh? People in the chat, people that are watching, everybody's not healthy. You don't feel the way you did going out week one. Everybody got something wrong with them. Everybody's nicked up. Everybody's nervous. It's a nick, a knack, or it's something. There is no team that is completely healthy. But how many players you have going to the back half of the season, heading into the playoffs, and how many can withstand whatever those injuries may be? Man, you're lucky. You're lucky, especially this time of year.
Updated playoff pictures. The number 1 seed in the NFC, the Detroit Lions at 12-2. The Eagles, which has to be the number 1, has the top seed in the NFC East. They're number 2 at 12-2. The Bucks at 8-6 and number 3. The Rams at 8-6 and number 4. Those are your 4 division leaders. The first wild card is 12-2 Minnesota. The second wild card is 10-4 Green Bay. Washington needs one more win to secure themselves. Well, yeah, I think if they get one more win, they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll be 10-5.
Yep. And now Seattle theoretically could get to 11 wins. Atlanta could get to 10 wins. Arizona could get to 10 wins. But those are the teams that really control their destiny. Everybody else, the 49ers, the Cowboys, they need help because they can't get to 10 wins. So you got the hope, Ocho. You got the hope that you went out and then somebody else takes care of business, helps you take care of your business.
Imagine if, hypothetically speaking, when you think about it, imagine the Cowboys get to the playoffs.
I ain't hypo and I ain't thetical, so it ain't happening.
Wait, Unc, you just said it yourself. You just named them as a team that can rely on other teams for something to happen and just mysteriously go their way where they happen to get in. What you think?
But here's the thing: they got to go to Philly. Philly's trying to get the number 1 seed. They're not. I don't see them beating Philly. And Washington needs one more win. See, if Washington gets another win, the Cowboys can't catch them. So all Washington has to do is get to 10 wins. And they can't, and the Cowboys can't catch them. Now, Green Bay already has 10 wins. Minnesota has 12 wins. The Rams are in. See, the Rams, the thing what they have is that they're in a division. Now, it's going to be very, very interesting how it shapes out between the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cards. But if those teams get to 10 wins, it's over for Cowboys because the Cowboys can only get to 9.
And speaking of those 3 teams you just said, Cardinals, Seahawks, or the Rams, I think the one team that no team, I don't care who you are, I don't care how good your defense is, I don't care what you say or what you're ranked statistically, offensively or defensively, you don't want to see the Rams offense in the postseason. You don't want to see that offense with both receivers back healthy. Nah, absolutely.
Well, the thing that's been really impressive about me is Kyron Williams' ability to run the football. And so when he runs it, Ocho, guess what that means? That play
opens up everything.
Now you got Puka on the over. Now you got Cooper Kupp on the sail. Now you got Atwell. And so you got guys that can make plays in the passing game, and everything is predicated that zone running scheme, the shit that, that was made famous by Mike. Kyle runs it, is that when you can run the football and now I can play action off of it, linebackers got to come up. They got to try to get down the field and stop that run.
They ain't got no choice. But
no choice.
I call it, they got to check the door because somebody knocking.
Jalen Johnson said he was unaware that he did not have the captaincy on his jersey today when asked after the game. He's one of the 8 captains that have worn the seat in every other game. Said he would talk to Bears equipment manager Tony Medellin for an explanation.
Why wouldn't he have it on there? I'm curious.
I don't know. I thought it was all once you saw it.
It's already there.
Now, you know what, Ocho? Now maybe was this the first time they wore those jerseys? Because it seemed like Minnesota had a different color uniform.
They have some ice white uniforms, but the Bears jerseys are always the same.
Maybe that's a different. Maybe Chicago had those. What do they call it? Color rush or something. But I was thinking, Ocho. Once you sew the captaincy on and you wear the jersey, I mean, what do you do?
But hold on, Unc. They don't wear the same jerseys, though, huh? You think they wear the same jerseys at the game?
Oh, yeah, you wear the same jersey. Hell yeah. Unless no, I'm saying, Ocho, Now, obviously, you have a home jersey, you have a away jersey. Now, if it gets ripped or something like that, okay, maybe. Or if you give it away, you know what I'm saying, Ocho? Because you know a lot of guys, they trade jerseys after the game. Right. They trade jerseys after the game. But, man, I mean, hell, I wore the same jersey because you can see where they done stitched mine up. They done had it torn. They done sold that thing up, man. Team, that's why when you trade jerseys at first, the teams covered that. They're like, oh, hell no, these jerseys like $100 and y'all giving them away every game? Oh, no, y'all about to, this $100+ $200 gonna come out y'all check.
Hell no.
So, yeah, I can imagine he looked down and he said he didn't know that he didn't have the C on his jersey. And I'm glad because it just goes to show that, hey, he wasn't worried about that. He going out there to play football and try to win a game. I ain't worried about it. That's something, I don't know if he's being truthful or not, Ocho, but it lets me know, look, I'm trying to win a game and we'll address this issue after the game.
Listen, he came. I don't know if you saw him dressed before the game, but he came dressed to play football. He came dressed.
Yeah. Oh, he was the one that came up. Which one came like Frank Lucas?
That was Jalen.
Okay, that was him. Okay, he came like Frank Lucas.
He looked like one of the Detroit players now.
You remember when Frank Lucas went to the Muhammad Ali? Joe Frazier fight in Madison Square Garden?
Same coat and hat.
And he got his ass busted. They're like, hold on, who is that with that outfit sitting that close to the ring?
That's exactly how he got caught up, because they had no clue who he was until you decide to step out and be flamboyant.
Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, because think about what that cost. That's probably $100. That was probably like 75,000 back in the 70s.
Easy. So imagine what it is.
Do you know how much? That's probably about $300-400.
But that was chinchilla now. You know how much chinchilla is today in today's market?
I'd have been chilly because I definitely wouldn't have had that coat on. I'd just been chilly.
Don't forget the hat now. The hat was. Hey, remember back in the days?
Yes.
When I'm talking about my grandma. When my grandma used to go to church.
Oh yeah. Them old ladies always. My grandma.
Them hats.
Yeah, them deaconesses.
Boy, ain't nobody want to see my grandma hat game, boy. Nobody wanted to see my grandma hat game, boy. She had all type of shit. White, blue, black, red. She had a dress and a hat for every dress and heel and a clutch. Play with it if you want to.
Hey, we put my grandma in the ground with a hat on.
For real?
Well, yeah, she told my sister she wanted to be in her hat.
That's live.
She had a hat, her sunglasses. Everything. Yes, sir. You never go see. I don't remember. And like I said, I've never seen my grandmother go to church without a hat. Never. Yeah. And if she forgot it, you gonna turn around and go get it. Yeah, very important to go have that hat on. Them old ladies, that was the thing. The old ladies wore hats back then. But they were, deaconesses or sisters of the church.
Hey, you know who had the best hat collection? The pastor wife.
Do that.
Whoever the pastor wife.
Absolutely.
She came stepping every Sunday.
Deaconess. My grandmother was mother of the church, so they had to get up there. They had to get up there and they had to step.
Yeah.
But so I saw it on my feed, Ocho, on my
you didn't realize who it was.
And I ain't playing no attention. I just scrolled through, and I was like, damn, dude got on that Frank Lucas get up. Because it looked exactly, if I didn't know better, he went there and said, hey, let me get the Frank Lucas. Who Frank Lucas? Showed him a picture. Can you get me a coat and a hat look just like this? And that thing,
it's so funny. That thing, when they tweeted, when the Bears social media account tweeted it, I retweeted it back with a picture of Frank Lucas in the original picture, standing with everybody, with his wife and everything, with a comparison to them. Like, well, ain't that about a bit?
Yes, that's the exact ensemble. And that thing long.
That thing was clean.
Oh, that thing long.
You know what I want to know?
Now you can get a jacket. You can get a jacket. You can get a jacket, or you can get the mid,
or you can get what they call. Go long. You from Detroit now? You straight Detroit.
Step. But see, that would have had them Stacey Adams, them Gators.
Oh, time out. What you know about Stacey Adams?
Man, come on, man. Now, you know them old men, them Stacey Adams. See, I went to church. The men had the Stacey Adams boots. They had them, not the thing came up right here, Ocho, and they had them on real socks.
hold on. It's so funny.
Perfect.
Hold on. You're not. If I tell you, you're not gonna believe me. Hold on. Listen. Hold on. I got the Stacey Adams. Listen. You know I roller skate. I roller skate heavy. Anybody in the chat that's from the West Coast, specifically LA, I have my Stacey Adams. They all red roller skates. Yeah, with the small wheels. And if I don't show it to you, you'll be like, man, stop lying. Now I don't know if I can zoom. I don't know if this picture.
Okay,
can you
I
see that?
it. Yeah.
Them my red skates made by Skate Fanatics. For those of you that are on Instagram, Skate Fanatics on Instagram, my red Stacey Adams. So as soon as you said Stacey Adams, I thought to myself, wait a minute. I got some damn red Stacey Adams skates because they call them sliders in LA. You slide on the wood because the way the wheels are made, it allows you to slide smoothly instead of really have grip, on the floor.
Well, a slider is a car. It's not your main car, it's your secondary car. I hear.
Hey, but it's a style of skating, normally known on the West Coast.
Yeah.
For those that roll out that way. But I love skating. I don't know how long you were in LA, but I'm just saying I'm not sure if you remember, it's no longer there now. Remember World on Wheels? I know you.
I've heard of it, but I know. I've never been.
When I was at Santa Monica, I was at World on Wheels back in '97. Going to the sessions 97, 98, and 99. And that's where my love for skating has started, and I still do it to this day. But anyway, we're all off topic. Go ahead.
But I remember early 90s, you had them, I don't know, Chad, if y'all remember the Maris. And I had Maris. That was the Gators.
Okay.
And they came, I had the black pair, I had a brown pair, a cognac pair. Everybody had, you had purple, you had green, you had black, Back then, the guys had a pair of Gators to match every suit that they had. So if you wore a black suit, you wore black Gators. You wore a purple suit, you had purple Gators. You wore a green suit, you had green Gators. You wore a brown or a tan suit, you had Gators to match. Everybody, bro, you show up on the plane, 40 brothers with Maris on.
Clean is the board of health, though. I tell you that.
Clean.
The board of health.
I know y'all. I don't know who if y'all remember it, but every color of I don't even know if Maris still makes shoes. I'm sure they do. But everybody had those big, and the square toe Ocho, because back then everybody had to kick it. Like the old kicking, like the straight old kicking had the square toe in the front. Everybody had them square toe Maris. Yes.
That's live. That's dope.